Locusts are ever present, but somewhat diminished downwards here. We're starting to descend towards 6,000 feet. The Quinn River's a bit above 5, I believe. So we've lost our high point of 9,700 or so quite significantly. It's much warmer and drier down here, of course. It's probably part of the reason why they're not so present. They've already swept through here, scourged, destroyed. And we got malingerers. Another reason to take the river back, I think. They can't decimate the entire river valley. There'll be a green corridor. There'll be riparian things I haven't seen in Nevada before, I'm sure. Collected carex today, for example. Here's the end of Santa Rosa. This ridge right here slopes down to the river, and the range is over. And Oregon is already that next table. We've done it. Been a long time on the list, the Santa Rosa Range. What a spectacular place. Checking periodically on the way back. Faint track is coalesced out of the horse and etc. trails. Continues along the ridge there, I can see. Must go all the way down. There's some kind of an old tank up there. It's probably the reason for it, but unmapped. Find a lot of tracks that are not on the maps. Help out oftentimes, and here's one that looks like it's probably going to send me to the end. Final descent. Gonna head to my stash tonight no matter what. Get that over with. No use using warm daylight hours tomorrow for that. It's only a couple miles by road anyway, once I'm down here. This is it. This is my exit canyon. The ridge began to cliff out there at the very end. Hot and exposed down here at 5,000 feet in the Oregon border tablelands. That's Santa Rosa all out there, of course. It's ending slopes. Suffer through a day out here in the exposure and heat. No prob, Bob. Especially with sporadic river visits. I'm way aloof from the river right now, but it's not always the case along this track, and just gotta dunk the hat and the shirt here and there and maintain comfortableness. Show you any interesting sights along the way, if there are any. But I'm heading back to the car now. It's 20 miles linearly. By taking these canyons and tablelands, it's going to set me back 25-30 miles, but 2-3 miles per hour on these roads, not bad. I will not be there today though. I'm a little too whooped. Slept in a bit too late. The pack is heavy because I just picked up food and water. I don't want to drink from the rivers here. All the cattle grazing that occurs out here. Locusts are still present. You wouldn't know it right now. Not in pernicious concentrations. Here's some on the Ivas though. A lot less vocal down here as well for whatever reasons. The clicks and hisses, I believe, are warning sounds to others. It seems to alert the whole lot. And if there's not a whole lot around, they don't really do them that much, it seems like. There's grandelias starting to bud. It's that time of summer. They don't seem to eat the grandelias for obvious reasons. Staring Oregon smack in the face there. A little dip is where the Quinn River sits, or rather flows. Just took a swim in a nice deep hole. Well, I shouldn't call it nice. It actually scares the shit out of me. I hate swimming, first of all. Waters that you can't see the bottom of. It's a primitive, instinctual phobia of mine, I guess. Yeah, I was a little panicked when I went into it, but it was worth it. That's why I typically stay away from the ocean, unless you can see the bottom. You won't find me in any kelp oceans, that's for damn sure. And this is just a tame desert freshwater system. There's nothing like crabs or anything below. That's what I think about. Who's gonna nip my feet and such? And the answer here is probably no one. But yeah, even kind of fish freak me out. All of my clothes needed a good washing out, so there is that too. And t-shirt cotton gets dipped, starts drying out within 10-15 minutes. That's how warm it is. In the East Fork of the Quinn River Canyon here. This is Santa Rosa to the right. I could have come down these very slopes and called it a trick. My stash was way to the west. Wish I could have found some of these workable roads previously. It's a bit of a sketchy area with passage through an Indian reservation and then road closures and such and signage. It's a little weird. You don't feel settled necessarily stashing stuff in such a spot, literally within eyesight of a farm. I was there last night though, no one to be seen or found. Here's the river proper. Not many cottonwoods, surprisingly. I'm guessing there'll be some aspens higher up. It's mostly just willows, roses. I believe there's probably some sorbus in there. What else? Lots of clematis. Loves those, climbing on all the shrubbery. Look at these rhizomatous patches of Iva everywhere. Iva thrives throughout the state this season. There's a locust. They're not as surly when they're solitary, as I mentioned previously. And I'm heading east right now. The car is due south, so once that canyon starts turning a bit southeastwards, we'll actually be heading back properly. It's a good 10 miles along this road, at least still, before we meet up with some canyons and other road systems, smaller ones, deeper into the national forest. This is all Humboldt-Toyabe, even though it's not really a forest. I had to get a permit to collect here. It's pretty, it's quaint. That is definitely Oregon, all up there. Blending in with Nevada. This road is great until there's two zones like this. Completely impassable. There's not a truck on earth that can do that, I don't think. At least that. Not a monster truck or something. Can't think of any Jeep I've ever seen that could do that. So there's been flooding here that's washed out the roads, and now it's gonna get wilder, I'm guessing. Although there is a detour around that reconnects to this road, I think. The initial closure though, that's where the swimming hole was. There's a big swimming hole where the road once crossed the river, and people figured out a way to go around it. We definitely need a truck. March of the Machines continues. Marching straight up into Oregon. northwards. Plenty of batches just go up slope, east or west, and this batch is heading north. How far? Who knows? These things must travel miles per day. That's a tough slope for them to climb. Hey look, someone's eating the cheatgrass for once, possibly. They must be desperate, because they've only got lactucas and sagebrushes otherwise. Wow. You got Cecimbriums and Tragopogons, Lamuses. They will eat native, non-native species, doesn't matter. Only the chemically well defended are not touched. Although even they are touched. Not quite as much though. They definitely avoid the gum weeds. Let's look. See? There's one or two. Now they're eating Cecimbriums and cheatgrasses. Wow. I don't think they're loving the cheatgrasses, but they're not having much of an effect either. It's still a massive fire hazard. They plow down all the lupins and balsam roots and such, but they're not plowing down the cheatgrasses well enough, and clearly the phenology will never match up July, June for the locusts. They may persist into August, I don't know about that. Cheatgrasses probably come out here in April, May. And Medusa grasses, plenty of that here too. They're not really a fan of it either. And then there's the cows and pronghorns that have to eat too, and rabbits and everyone else. Magpies. I wonder if the magpies eat locusts. Because there weren't a ton of locusts where there were a ton of magpies, I have to say. And yeah, they appear to like the buds, especially of the sagebrushes. They like to be higher up on them, not eating the leaves per se. More like the flowering shoots. They haven't flowered yet. That's what it seems like to me, at least. They avoid Chrysothamnus. Except Viscidiflorus, they kind of like that one a little bit. And it's very common here. One of the more dominant species of the ridges. There's a couple sunflowers I want to collect out here still. I hope I can find intact populations. There's a nice Wyathia I saw on day one, for example. Pretty rare ever since. Needs kind of higher, maybe snow meltier areas, but we'll be going back there later today and into tomorrow. Might as well check in. Lots of old growth sagebrush here, despite lots of invasive grasses in between them. It could burn them all up. Gets tall, the species does, in drainage bottoms especially, and some of them are above 3 meters tall, which I would call old growth. This one's above 2. Lots of locusts here. I guess I'm on BLM land right now, just past a gate that said area behind the sign closed all grazing. I don't see that too often, especially in the BLM districts. And yeah, I just thought I would check in here. It's fairly smooth going on these road systems. It's still the Quinn there. For another few miles at least. coming up, abutting against Calico Hills there, I think they're called, or Calico Mountains even. A short traverse someday. 15 miles. If I had energy and more foresight, could have double traversed it, but I'm pretty much done at this point. I need to get back, do some stuff before the botany conference, etc. Going to Europe soon. And Santa Rosa's pretty much closing out this field season 2023 for Nevada stuff. Not entirely. I'm heading to a study site soon. Some infrastructure here. Heading to the study site on the way back, but wrapping up for the season. The locusts are wrapping up for us no matter what. Only made one collection today. There's an old airstream down there, abandoned, with some wild horses, it looks like. Those are not domesticated, I think. There's a truck here. Maybe they are. There's definitely someone there, but they didn't come out. 3-4 dogs guarding the place, and I saw some saddles. Wonder what they're doing. It's a quail on the pole. I have to leave you for today. Slept in just a little too late, because now I'm bushwhacking for a couple miles. Some of which is after dark, most of which maybe. And cattle trails helping, at first at least. Gotta stay above that river. No crossings. Just keep going, a couple more miles, and there's a new track system taking me to the car tomorrow. I need to get to that system today, though, because it's a lot of miles still. I'm having trouble connecting tracks, although I think that's just about at an end. When the track along the river faded last night, I had two choices, and occasionally a track on the map is so old that it doesn't functionally exist anymore, and that's what's happened here. I was following it, but there are parts of a cow trail that had replaced parts of the track, but it was pretty much a bushwhack last night, and I'm still on that bushwhack. Slow going, but less than a half mile less, I think, left. And here's a connector track, just as it happens. This one leads up to the dilapidated one just down there. And suddenly we're going in a different direction, but we're heading this way. There's the car, it's at Granite Peak there, in the pass between it and Hinckley Summit, which is the one to the east of Granite. So it's quite a distance. We got lots of kind of gently sloping, flowing tablelands here. One of those things is indeed called Table Mountain. And there are tracks pretty much heading back towards that main road that I'm parked along. Locust still prevalent. Now let me confirm this is the right track. Much better shape than just a few minutes ago. That bushwhacking was wearing me out. I thought I was kind of done with it for the trek, and you can always be surprises left there. Bunyan breath. You can see it heading southwards. Nice system. Might be a little warm, but who cares? Not as warm as yesterday. Found a new potentilla this morning, so I'm still keeping my eyes out. There's lots of stream crossings this low down. Lots of water coming off Santa Rosa and Calico there. Could have been an easy double traverse. Didn't see that on the maps. I'll come back for an easy 15-miler someday. Could do with more 2-3 day traverses in my life as opposed to the longer ones that are so committing. And when you start compounding the longer traverses together, it wears on the body a bit. Hard to get enough needed calorie requirements. Just the food on your back. A lot of it kind of processed sugary shit, as you might imagine, although I'm injecting more meats and nuts and proteins and such over time fairly successfully. No fresh stuff on trips like this. What it should look like here: luxuriant growth, lupins, flower and fruit, some sedaceas there, pollinators in abundance. How come the locusts are so absent here? It's just by chance, I suppose. Rumexes, fully in fruit, untouched. Not untouched. See some bite marks there. Untouched enough to keep reproducing. Unlike where locusts do swarm, they don't let the plants reproduce. And then in the bottom here, there's luxuriant chrysothemis and delphinium and achilleas all coming up. This is how this whole place should have looked like, basically, if there weren't a locust plague this year. Oh well. I've seen super blooms in the north before. Just walked through a heavy density of locusts. They had found a lupin patch. A few feet onwards, there's absolutely nothing. Interesting. Anywho, we're wrapping up here. I might even be back at a decent hour. I thought it'd probably be close to dark, but it's about 15-16 miles, entirely track walking. Pack should be light enough today to just bust it out in normal time. 5-6 hours, whatever it might be. Maybe 7 with breaks. This has been the Santa Rosa. Unless there's anything else of interest, it's time to wrap it up. This is a fork of the Little Humboldt right here, and there are swarms of fish. I don't know my fish too well. I guess they're minnows of sorts. It's a broad class of smaller fish, I guess. But there's hundreds of them here. Who knows what they're all competing to eat? There must be plenty of insect larvae amongst the rocks, probably eating some algae to some extent. Free-floating larvae, etc. Adults of insects as well. We're following this drainage for some ways upwards, steadily climbing up towards the car now, very gradually, many miles yet. And I'm having horseflies landing on me. Got a nice big bite yesterday that started bleeding immediately, so I want to get moving onwards. They can't keep up forever. This is the last road, the Hinckley Summit Road, the 84 of the Forest Service network. And once we wrap around a river crossing down there, I think it's straight up a couple thousand feet to the car. Pretty much done here. Hope you liked it.